Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum. It has been an action-packed day on the Hill since the early hours of this morning. We are now awaiting a House vote that would officially trigger an impeachment inquiry into President Biden.
This stupid, blundering investigation is keeping us from getting any real work done for the people of America.
You got a politician who does certain things. Those actions then benefit his family financially, and then there's an effort to conceal it and sweep it under the rug.
Why is the MAGA wing of the Republican Party resorting to this political stunt? 2 words: Donald Trump.
Joe Biden knew of, participated in, and benefited from his family cashing in on the Biden name around the world.
So that is ongoing live at this hour. Those accusations of cashing in, of course, include Hunter Biden. This is Hunter Biden earlier this morning. He was supposed to be sitting for a closed-door deposition today with the committee, but he rolled up to Capitol Hill, got out, stood in front of a podium, gave a defiant speech, then got back in the car and went home.
In the depths of my addiction, I was extremely irresponsible with my finances. But to suggest that is grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd. It's shameless. There's no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen.
Okay, lots to unpack there. Shortly after, Peter Doocy trying to get some answers from the president himself. Watch this.
All right, President Peter, we're going to keep going. Are you worried? President Peter, we're going to keep moving outside now. Peter, are you worried about being impeached? Thank you so much. We're going to make our way out now.
Thank you so much. We're going to make our way out now. Let's bring in Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary, and James Freeman, assistant editor of the Wall Street Journal editorial page. Both are Fox News contributors. The briefing is ongoing. If Peter Doocy gets a question in, we're going to go back there. We'll find out what he has to say. James and Ari, great to have both of you with us today. Just going back to the soundbite that we heard there from Hunter Biden. He says, you know, in the depths of my addiction, and I'm not quoting him exactly here, but this is the gist of it. I made some errors, but that's not grounds for an impeachment. Those two things are not linked, from what I can tell, in this inquiry at all. So why did he say that? Because I was addicted and made mistakes, you can't impeach my father. That's not really what's at issue here, right?
It's a deflection. It's a dodge away from the core facts that there is proof in the form of emails and testimony from his business partners that his father knew what he was doing, that he was tied to the business, that the father stood to gain 10% on one business transaction, and that Hunter Biden complained that his father would receive significant amounts of money as a regular way of paying him to pay his bills. So that's the evidence that now needs to be inquired, because this is about his father. It's not about Hunter. It's not about his drug addiction. It's not about his spending on prostitutes. None of that matters. It's about ties to his father, who certainly lied repeatedly when he denied knowing of his son's business transactions or being in business with his son. There are all kinds of pictures of his father as the sitting vice president meeting with his son's business partners.
So it has evolved dramatically, the way that they have addressed this. Initially, when we were covering the debate during the 2020 presidential elections, I remember quite clearly, the president stood on the stage. He said, I have nothing to do. Right. Nothing to do with my son's business. He said, this is ridiculous. I have never had any involvement. Then we heard that he had not been in business with his son. In other words, my name is not on these deals. I'm not in business. Today, it got even more specific. Hunter Biden said very clearly, my father was not financially involved in the business. He didn't act as an attorney, and he wasn't on the board of Burisma, which I think, we know that, right? But what's the difference here, James, that he's now making that detailed sort of limitation, putting parameters on it? He wasn't financially involved here.
Well, that might be a way of acknowledging what we all know, which is the heart of this business is Joe Biden. It doesn't work without Joe Biden cooperating, allowing Hunter to come on Air Force Two as they go to different places around the world to do business, without allowing Hunter to welcome guests and have the president schmooze them or contact them. We see the email evidence linking Joe Biden on the emails with Eric Schwerin, the longtime Hunter Biden business associate. So I think that it looks like they're trying to finesse their way to okay, maybe Joe Biden was the door opener, the enabler, the special sauce that made all of this money happen. But the money actually went into someone else's account, i.e. Hunter or one of the other Biden family. That's not going to be a strong defense.
We heard from Devin Archer, who
go.
was financially involved in these deals. When asked in the testimony, what were they selling? He said the brand was Biden. The brand was Joe Biden. That's what they were selling. It's also very interesting to me, Ari, that the roots of this goes back to questions that were raised by the banks. They had 150 suspicious activity reports. They're watching this money come in from China. They're seeing where it's going. It's getting distributed to these shell companies. And the banks raised the alarm on what was going on here initially, right?
Yeah, and his father denied that he did any business with China. And, of course, now we have bank statements showing that he made millions from China. So why lie? Why would Joe Biden lie? Why would Hunter Biden lie unless there's something there? And that's what bothers me so much about their behavior here. And as for Hunter Biden today, when he did the little news conference, he said that his information had been stolen from him. He's referring to his laptop, which he dropped off. He today talked about editing and changes to what his partners had said. No, it was faithful testimony about what his partners said, including in the case of Devin Archer. He testified that Joe Biden got on a phone call with their business partners to make a greeting, an introduction. Talked about the weather for Hunter's business partners. One link after another.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you guys one quick question before we go here about the politics of this, because there are indications that some Republicans are not comfortable with the road that they're going down with his impeachment, that they might be voting for the inquiry. But when it comes to a vote for an actual impeachment, James, let me start with you and get a quick thought from Ari as well. What does this do politically?
Well, the Republicans have basically been saying we need this vote because we need the authority to get documents, to get information the Bidens won't give us. Hunter going up and refusing, defying the subpoena, refusing to give a deposition, he seems to be basically confirming their case and practically inviting the House to go down this road. Do they think this is going to end well for them? I don't really see it, because I think most people think this doesn't look better the more you learn about these deals.
So you think politically it's not a bad move? It strikes me, as in other cases that we followed, it's almost like he came in there and he gave an opening statement and then he pled the fifth. I'm back in my car, okay? So I've said what I want to say, but I don't want anyone questioning me about any of these things, which was an interesting, trick to pull off there this morning. Politically, good plan or bad plan for these GOP members?
I think it was foolish by Hunter Biden today, because he's bought his father an impeachment inquiry by his behavior today.
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Ari Fleischer, James Freeman, great to have you with us today. So Hunter Biden also, in that statement today, hammered MAGA Republicans. He blamed them for his problems, for what he said is a crusade to bring down his father, to bring down his family, to ridicule him. And he said it was manipulated with evidence and lies.
There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. So much so that their lies have become the false facts believed by too many people.
Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace of the Oversight Committee would like the opportunity to question him. She'll give her response next.